Hey everyone, Lazy Panda here. This story time is about the time my friend actually got into a fight. It was pretty crazy. This one was actually pretty intense compared to the other ones I've seen in the past. The fights I'm referring to, I'm not saying he was involved in those ones, but I'm saying in general the ones I've just seen, especially taken at the same place where it was at, because the ending result was actually pretty interesting, I think. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this story time. If you want more, there will be a playlist of these story times. I also have a Discord if you guys are interested, but I know you guys are not here for that. You guys are here to hear the story, so let's dive on in. So this story time actually takes place a few hours ago today. Now, I'm not sure if I told a story that was actually sooner than this, but if so, this is probably the closest to being like the most recent story time I tell from the time an event occurred to me recording about it. But this school day actually started off as any normal day, really. It was a Monday, and I was tired, everyone was just doing their own thing. I just had my history class and my music class, so, I was chilling. But it was a good day, to be honest. I was vibing, I was to myself, I was having a good time, doing whatever, passing time, all that stuff. That same day, I actually had like a 3-part quiz for 45 minutes that was done in my music theory class. It wasn't very terrible per se. I say it's 3 questions, but it's 3 long questions, so unless you've done music theory yourself, you're not really going to understand what I'm talking about, but if you do, then, kudos to you and whatnot. I also want to talk about a friend of mine. We'll call him Ray. So, I've only known Ray a little bit here and there. The only other time I've really spoken to him before, like, the last few encounters we've had was when he stuck his finger in the mouth part of my mask, which was a scream mask, and that's where my mouth was. So, it was weird. It was certainly weird, I will say that. But I got to know him more and more because we were in the library together because of last period, and he's honestly like a really cool dude. I have no problems with him. He's really fun. He's very energetic. He's just someone you can vibe with. He's very easy to get along with. And he's very good at setting the vibe and energy and all that. But I also want to talk about how actually this guy goes to the gym. He goes to the gym pretty frequently. He's pretty built as well. Like when you look at him, you're like, oh yeah, he definitely goes to the gym for sure because he has that physique, because he's been going for a hot minute. But when you get to meet him, you can definitely tell he's not the type of person to really want to start a fight. He's very more chill. He likes to hang out with friends. He's more to himself. He's not the aggressor. He's really just there. He doesn't like to fight. He doesn't like to start fights, but if he needs to, he probably would end one. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so let me just backtrack to today. So up to this point, I've only really seen Ray every now and then. I don't really talk to him like one of my own friends personally because I don't really know him like that. I know him more as an acquaintance, so I just really happened to know him just well enough to where I was like, oh snap. So what happened was I was going to lunch, it was a regular lunch. I was going there with my friends, and we were all just chilling out. We were going to do whatever. And I just want to say during the previous period, I really needed to use the bathroom. So I was like just holding it in. And we have a lot of students that use the bathroom, but don't use the bathroom, if you know what I mean. So they were always skipping, and I always felt bad. So I didn't want the teacher to think that I was a part of that group, or I just didn't want to seem like disrespectful, if that makes sense. So I didn't go to the bathroom that point. So instead, I decided to wait it out, and then I finally got the chance to use the bathroom. But I wanted to put all my stuff down and save myself a seat before I went ahead and used the bathroom. So I get in the cafeteria, I put my bag down, I put my jacket over my seat, I put my drink and my salad down on the table. All of a sudden, I hear behind me just how can I say it's just like a bunch of, I'll try this as best as I can, but basically it sounded like this. Let me fix. Sorry guys, I had to fix my microphone. Basically, I was tapping my fingers on the table to make that happen. But to continue the story, after all of that, I turn around and all of a sudden I see people are swarmed into this like one little area near the wall of the cafeteria. Now, usually people will group up, the usual. Everyone's around the people that are fighting, whatever, cool. But this was a lot. And I mean a lot of people. This was the fastest I've ever seen people just all swoop in at once. It was crazy. And the thing is, I didn't know anyone that was fighting. So I was like, oh, okay, here we go. I don't mean to make this sound as like nonchalant as I'm saying it is. But I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Another fight like usual. Of course, I was invested because, curiosity killed the cat. But, I'm still kicking. So I was super curious. I was like, there's a fight. Cool, whatever. And I'm looking over, and everyone's just like, fight, fight, fight. And I'm like, I want to say 8 tables away. The tables are decently big, so it's a good amount of space in between us. And there's people even behind me that are like, fight, fight, fight. And like, no one can hear them because, but they want to be a part of it, I guess. So all of a sudden they're beating each other up, and I could see one person as they're standing on the table recording, and I don't know how I could see this, but I was looking through the camera, like the screen of it, and I could see one guy was on the floor and the other guy was trying to pummel the other guy. And as I start to register this, I just hear keys jingling all around. And I turn around to see who it was, and I see our school officer just running in. He looks really worried and concerned. Like, he's running in there. He's pushing people out of the way. He's like using his hands and moving them, trying to get them away as fast as possible. And the students are like, what just happened? And he's just running through. And then eventually, once he gets near the crowd, I lose him. I have no idea where this man went. I don't know where he came from at the end, and I don't even know where he went. He was just lost in the crowd. Then all of a sudden, the crowd started to disperse. I don't know where the one guy went, but my friend Ray, who was in the fight, he was walking through like the little hall to get out of the cafeteria with the officer behind him. And I didn't know up until this point. So once I registered the fact that it was one of my friends in that fight, like my whole table realized who it was, and they were like, oh my God, it was Ray. And everyone was like, oh yeah, he definitely won for sure, for sure. And when he was walking, his nose was bloody. He had a little cut on his lips. So he had a little bit of blood coming down from his nose. It was, I don't know why, I don't know if you guys could hear the microphone quality change. I tried like showing it off as if I were on camera, even though I'm not. Anywho, but yeah, he walks through and everyone's like, oh yeah, he definitely won. And to get information, we started asking around. People were like, what happened? What did you see? And eventually we got to the conclusion that it was this. Basically, a long time ago, him and a few of my friends were driving around, and he said something about like, I'll square you up, like a while back. And while they were driving and Ray said that, basically they discovered that this kid was from New York. And my one friend was like, oh, that's not good that you were messing with him, because you're definitely gonna get jumped. And this guy was also a new student. This New Yorker was going to be a new student at my school. And I don't know how long he's been there. I don't really know him at all. All I know is his name, and that's about as far as it goes. Obviously, I'm not going to say what his name is, but basically, after all of that, I think he said something about Ray's sister, and it was also his younger sister, so he definitely wasn't going to, tolerate that. And so, he tried to defend himself. He was like, I'm not going to really try and fight him. I'm just going to try and walk away from the situation. But the New Yorker wanted to fight. So he fought him. And basically that's what happened. And as Ray was walking out, he basically said, I didn't touch him. I didn't try hitting him. None of that. But yeah, so now he's on a 10-day suspension. And every time a fight breaks out, our principal always sends an email out being like, our school doesn't tolerate this. Every time, like it makes a difference. It doesn't make a difference because the same thing is still happening. But that's more of my personal thing, I guess. But moral of the story, just try to avoid any conflict in any situation, and basically be careful what you say to people, because it can come back around and bite you. I believe karma is very real, and this is a big showcase of that. But I hope you guys enjoy this story time. If not, I'm sorry to hear that. If you do, there's also more. If you guys want more of my narration and all that, I also do other videos like ranking God of War games, doing gameplays, etc, etc. But my name is Lazy Panda. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope to see you guys in the future ones. Good night and goodbye. Hey, I'm gonna beat you up, kid. I'm gonna beat you up.
Why my friend that was busy with this mom of a MILF shade talking to you, knowing that she got so many siblings, knowing that you got a lot with her, knowing that you need to change, gotta get on with me, missing your own love, missing